welcome to my channel. So this is an impromptu video. In this video we're talking about the 3 habits that gave me a full-time income as a massage therapist and spa owner. So that's what we're talking about. I'm actually in Playa del Carmen right now in Mexico on my honeymoon. I don't have a mic. I have very minimal makeup. I don't even have a tripod. So we're gonna figure out how to do this. My hubby agreed that I could film a short video. So let's talk about it. All right. This is what I'm gonna use to film. I'm just gonna set my phone right here. Hopefully that works. So that didn't work, so what I did, I just stacked some books and put it on here. So this is gonna be the tripod for today. All right, so welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayana. I'm a licensed massage therapist, spa owner, and in this video, we are talking about the 3 habits and skills that took me from $0 to $10,000 a month as a massage therapist. These skills that I learned and the tips that I have for you so that you can make a full-time income as a massage therapist. This is an impromptu video because again, I'm here in Mexico. If you follow me on Instagram, you already knew that. So we're just gonna dive right in. I wrote a couple of notes here with my handy dandy iPad. I'm just gonna jump right into the tips. We're not gonna waste any time. So the first tip that I have for you is to put your head down, because that's what I did when I was in the building stages of my business. So I lived about 40 minutes to an hour outside of the city. I lived in the country. I'm talking, we have chickens. You could see all these country dogs walking around. This is, you know, like the legit country, like on the border of Georgia and Florida. And I was living with my mom at this time when I was building my business because I didn't have anywhere else to go during the pandemic. And so I would drive 40 minutes to an hour into the city, and I would go to a coffee shop and I would sit there with my laptop. And this was before I had a MacBook or anything fancy like that. I just had this old HP computer that I had since I was in, what, 8th grade? So I had this old HP computer and I would go to this coffee shop and I would sit there and I would focus on building my website, on figuring out what documents I needed, on looking up all the laws and rules in my state from the Board of Massage, like doing all the research that I felt like I needed to be equipped to start my business the right time this time. So I put my head down. I didn't have a lot of distractions. This was definitely before Reels. This was before I really knew anything about TikTok. Like I wasn't on anything like that. The only reason I got on social media was to promote my business and to share my journey of starting the business. Yeah, so I wasn't very distracted. I kept my head down. In addition to this is kind of a bonus tip on top of this tip, which could be a video on its own, is that I had to adjust my lifestyle to being around the right people. So not only did I put my head down and I focused on working on my business, but I also formed a group of friends as support who were also massage therapists, estheticians, making their businesses as well. I remember even with my closest friend, I would go to this coffee shop, I would meet her there, and we would both build our websites together. And it was just kind of that support really helped me. It helped me stay accountable. We would look at each other's stuff, basically keep ourselves accountable and give each other feedback, supported each other during that really tough time of, okay, we're working at regular jobs, you know, desk jobs, because again, the governor of Florida said that massage therapists couldn't work. So I couldn't work at a spa. So at this time I was working at a real estate company, and I would just put my head down and focus on my business. So if you're in this stage of starting your business, I really want you to focus. I really want you to think about who is in your circle. Is there anyone who is negative? Is there someone in your ear that's negative? Again, even during this time, I had left really toxic relationships, so that I feel like propelled me on this journey because I wasn't around the same people I was around before, and I wasn't doing the same things that I was doing before. It allowed me to eat healthier. I wasn't just around people who would like encourage me to go to like places that, you know, weren't nourishing. And, you know, this was a time where I really focused on me and focused on my goal, which was to have a full-time business. So that's going to be my first tip. The first skill that brought me to $10,000 a month as a massage therapist is to put your head down and really focus. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to people who might want to put doubt in your heart or in your head, because that is going to lead you astray and it's going to make you doubt yourself. But really, when you don't have all that noise in your ear and you like look inwards and you even feel inwards, you'll notice that, you do have all those tools that you need. You just need to implement things. You just need the right guidance. So that's something I would recommend, is to really put your head down and focus. So that's number one. So number two is leverage. So leverage, there's a lot of pieces to this. So let's really go through this. So when I say I use leverage, I leverage my time and I also leverage my money. So in the beginning of my business, when I started to make some money, I made sure that my expenses were extremely low, and I leveraged time and money in a couple of ways. So the first way that I leveraged my time was by hiring other people. And if you would like to see a video on, when is the right time to hire, let me know, put it in the comments below and I'll make that video. But I leverage using contractors, so other massage therapists who in the beginning, it was just me and one other person, someone I went to school with, who told me, if I ever started my business, she would help me. And so we started off with couples massages. So with this, I was still working in the business because we would do couples massages together. But also she started to get clients on her own through True Massage. So when I started noticing that she could get clients on her own through True Massage as a contractor, I hired more contractors, because also at this time I was pregnant. So I didn't have a lot of time to be doing massage sessions. I really needed to figure out a way where the business could continue. Even though I was pregnant and I was about to have a baby, I had to figure out how the business could continue. So what I did is I hired contractors. I hired other massage therapists to take appointments for me. And not only that, but I introduced other forms of income for this one business. So during this time, we were doing spa parties. We were selling packages. I have videos on all these things too, but we were doing multiple different types of things to bring money into the business. So it wasn't just getting paid for services, but it was also, we had packages that brought in more cash flow. We did spa parties, and I really used this time that I wasn't doing massages, the contractors were doing massages. I used that time to work on the business and to reinvest the money into things that would grow the business, such as hiring more people, hiring tech support, hiring virtual assistants, things like that. So that's what I mean by leverage. So once you have figured out like your business model, and if you do need help with your business model, I do offer live free trainings on this. You want to make sure that you're on my email list, so look at the links down below. Once you've nailed down your business model, then you want to make sure that you're doing the right things to leverage your time and to leverage your money. So even using business credit was a way that I leveraged technically other people's money to grow the business, especially to start new services that my clients would ask for without having to put the money up front for those services that may or may not succeed. So when I say leverage, there's so many different pieces to this. You can leverage your time by hiring other people to do things for you. Even if you're a solo massage therapist and you're not interested in having a team, hiring a VA completely changed the trajectory of what I was doing in the business. So now I have more free time. I have free time to travel. Even right now, I'm in Mexico and I have contractors who will go to appointments that are set up. They will fulfill those services. I get paid, they get paid, the client is happy, and so on and so forth. Setting up my business that way, setting up a certain type of business model for my massage business allowed me to not only reinvest money into the business, but also leverage my time so I can work on the business and not in the business, and also be home with my baby and do things that I enjoy, and to leverage my time so I can start other types of businesses. So once you figure out your business model, that's really important. Then you want to leverage your time so that you can create other streams of income, reinvest your money so that you can, on the personal side of things, invest in stocks or invest in other vehicles that can make you more money. So that is something I recommend, is to figure out what leverage means to you, but always be thinking of ways to leverage time and then to leverage your money, whether that's reinvesting the money or hiring people to take time off your hand. So that is number two. Something that I want to add even to leverage is when I first made six figures, it was almost a year and a half. It wasn't quite a year and a half. It was like a year and 4 months into this restarting of my business back in 2020. So it's not like I made six figures, my first month or my first 2 months. I was able to go full time in my business and quit my job 3 months into my business. But when you have a business, you have expenses too. So there are going to be some months where you break even, and then some months where you make more profit than you've even seen just in your day job. So that's something to take into account, is to plan for fluctuations until you've really nailed down your business model. It's not like I'm never going to be up here and be like, oh, I made six figures in like 2 months, because honestly, for this business model, massage, that's not exactly realistic. I'm not gonna say it's not realistic, because anything is possible, but that's not my story. So for me, it was a year and 4 months into starting my business where I actually saw 6 figures. So the third tip, and don't roll your eyes, I'm sure you've heard this before, but I'm gonna say it in a different way, because for me, it's different. I scripted my life. So what do I mean by that? So I scripted my life, as in I wrote down, in the beginning of my journey back in 2020, I wrote down everything that I wanted, even things that I felt like were not even possible yet. And this tool, I feel like, changed the game. I feel like this tool was the reason I was able to get out of that toxic relationship, or the reason why I was able to get a car and get out of debt and all that stuff, like to really change things around. So I scripted my life. So I didn't just journal. Some people will get on YouTube and say, oh, I journaled, like that's a millionaire habit, whatever, or a 6-figure habit. But I scripted, which is a little bit different than journaling, because when you script, you are writing exactly in present tense, exactly what you want to happen. So you are saying it as if it already happened, because your subconscious mind doesn't really know the difference. So if you've already told yourself, like, I am a 6-figure earner, I am making a full-time income with my massage business, if you've already told that to yourself and you've already written it down, then you have no choice than to implement a plan to make that happen for yourself. Even if you don't know how yet, like, you will conspire to make that happen. So I scripted my life. I scripted that I wanted to buy a car all cash, because that would allow me to do mobile massage. That would allow me to get out of the relationship I was in where we shared a car. That allowed me to do a lot of different things. It's the same car that I have today. And even just saying that I want to make $5,000 a month, at that time when I wrote that down, that didn't even seem possible. Like, I had never seen that much money in a month. But after writing it down and actually feeling like I could do it, because I already wrote it down in present tense, I made the moves to make sure that that could happen, that would be the minimum for me. And once that happened, I was like, okay, I'm gonna write down that I am making $10,000 a month from my massage business. And even though it wasn't instant, I made the moves to make that happen. So I literally scripted my life. I think I actually have my my scripting journal. I think I'm gonna find it. 1 second. 1 second. All right. I found it. So this is pretty much how I get everything that I want. This is pretty much how I script my life. So this is what it looks like. This is probably flipped, but it says it is written in the stars. So I felt like that made it a perfect scripting journal. In here, I've wrote down some things that have literally come true, like even months before I started my business. Yeah, crazy. Look, this one says, I am a businesswoman earning passive income from multiple sources. I am motivated and organized, making a living doing what I love. That has literally come true. I am wealthy and all my expenses are automated. I am always making money in my sleep. That has literally come true, even with my massage business, which is wild, which I also talk about on this channel and on other social media. I've scripted my husband in here. I've scripted so many different things. I've scripted a lot, and I highly recommend it as a way to get what you want, especially when it comes to your business goals. If you want to make $5,000 a month with your massage business, then you definitely want to write that down. You want to write it down and hold yourself accountable, but you want to make sure that you write it down as if it already happened. You want to make sure that you're telling yourself this in the mirror, like tell yourself, make a promise with yourself that this is the goal that you want to make, this is the goal that you want to achieve, and then actually hold yourself accountable. So it's not enough just to say it, it's not enough just to write it, but you actually need to implement it and then surround yourself with other people who also want to achieve that same goal. Even with SpaBizSuccess, which is my mentorship program, I think the reason why we're so successful in that program is because you're surrounded by other people who want the same things that you want, in addition to the accountability meetings, in addition to all the different tools that are there for you, in addition to me sharing my personal experiences and being there with you and really trying to hold you accountable to your goals that you say that you want to achieve. So yeah, so that would be my other tip or skill that has made me $10,000 a month as a massage therapist is to really write down what you want and surround yourself with other people who want to make that happen. This video is all over the place because there's so much to this. I remember the first time that I saw that this was possible. I remember I was about, I want to say 7 months pregnant, and I went back to my hometown, San Diego. I live in Florida, but where I was born is San Diego, La Mesa, California. I went there to visit my family, and this was the first time that I left my home, my business, and the business was still running. So I still had contractors selling packages. I still had contractors fulfilling appointments. I had people answering the phones, making sure that people were getting their appointments and getting their questions answered. And I remember feeling so nervous. But when I saw that payment notifications were still coming in, even though I was enjoying myself in California, I was like, okay, I've cracked some type of code. I need to share this with other people. This was before my YouTube channel, but I remember going on Instagram and sharing this and sharing, that accomplishment with a small amount of people who were following me on Instagram at that time. And I just felt really proud. And now I've been able to do that even on a bigger scale. So now I'm in Mexico and the same thing happened. So another tip that I have, this is just a bonus tip. Don't get caught up on like the little things. Just look at the bigger picture and think about what it is you want and just go for it. I think a lot of people, especially the people who reach out to me, you get so caught up on like the most specific details about your business instead of taking action. Like, what's holding you back is that you're just caught up on like all the little things that you haven't accounted for yet instead of just doing stuff. Because when I first started, I couldn't get caught up on like the little itsy bitsy things. I just had my car, I had my skills, I just graduated from massage school, and I was talking to people on social media. I remember going to the radio station and asking them if they wanted to trade for gift cards so that I could get airtime on the radio. So I was out there, I was networking, I was talking to people, and I'm still doing that. That's another thing. You don't want to remove yourself from the business too soon, because if you remove yourself from the business too soon, then a lot of things get lost in translation. So just make sure that you're focused, follow these tips, follow these guidelines, and I promise you will be successful, especially if you get the accountability and the implementation that you need. Because not all of us are good at time management. Not all of us are good at holding ourselves accountable or making sure that we do the things that we say we're going to do. Sometimes you need other people to be doing something with you for you to really get to that next level. That's why masterminds exist. That's why small containers exist, so that other people can bounce off ideas and really push themselves to the next level. So that is another thing that also helped me is, investing in containers like that. This was a big video. It was very kind of all over the place, but I really hope that it helped. I want you to comment down below, what is the tip or strategy that you're going to be implementing in this new year? What are some of the goals that you have? And let me know if this video was helpful. But I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.